Hey guys, welcome to Life on 30A. I'm AJ, your trusted 30A real estate buyer's agent right here on 30A. And today I have this beautiful property I'm going to take you on a tour of. You can see behind me this beautiful pool, but we're not going to get there just yet. Let's take a tour of the inside of the property. I'm going to show you also the neighborhood, the amenities. I'm going to give you some information on where we are in proximity to things that you might need, like the airport or, maybe Pier Park, something like that. And also give you a market update for what we're seeing here on 30A. So I'm going to flip the camera around and show you a bit about this property. Okay, so here we have the front entrance. We'll walk over there so you can get a view of it. So we're at 104 South Splash Drive. This is an inlet beach and part of Water Sound Origins. This is a newer development. Huff is the builder. So most of the properties back in here, this is, I think it's Lake Powell West is the part of the subdivision that we're in, that part of Water Sound Origins. So all of these are new properties. These are 2024, 2025, so all new. You've got the lap and gap details here. And here we have the living room. This property will actually come furnished if you would like it to. It doesn't have to, but the sellers are offering to leave it fully furnished, and the furnishings are from Kincaid. You've got real hardwood furnishings. You have 4 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms. So every bedroom has its own ensuite bathroom. The ceilings are, we're estimating about 10 feet tall because we've got 8-foot doors. Built-ins in the closets, and I've got my necklace magnetizing to the microphone, so if you hear some clicking, sorry about that. And look at these showers. So even though this is a Huff build, which comes with specific floor plans, these sellers were very meticulous in how they wanted everything. So something that you're going to see is all of these extra touches. So this shower behind me and this tile on the floor, these are very upgraded tiles. These are not the standard that you will see on a standard new build, even by Huff in this neighborhood. So you're not going to see anything like this in any of the properties that are for sale in the neighborhood that are brand new. You're also not going to see a pool. So this is basically a brand new house that's already been upgraded from the new build and had a pool installed. And you have this natural backdrop in both the back of the house and in the front of the house. I'm going to show you both of these. Just tons of extras here. And you're sitting on 0.27 acres. That's crazy. Most of the lots in here are sitting on like 0.14, something like that. So you've got a huge plot of land here to work with. I'm going to show that to you as well. Here, let's go back to the bedrooms. So we can come through to the living room. That's the other thing about this property that I really love is the floor plan. Okay, but first, check this guy out. So all of the floors, oh my gosh, you guys, words. All of the bedrooms are separated from each other. You'll notice that they're kind of in like the 4 corners of the house, which is fantastic. So everybody gets some great privacy. Now, this is a no short-term rental neighborhood. So all of Water Sound Origins, you cannot short-term rent out the properties. So these are only going to be for primary residences. You can rent them out long-term for like a year, but you can't do, say, Airbnb in here. All the bathrooms match with this beautiful tile. And then, so here we have the beautiful kitchen. I'm purposefully leaving this out for right now, but look at this. Absolutely gorgeous. I love the quartz countertops and these pendant lights above the center of the kitchen island are actually hand blown glass. Very nice touch. And check these out. You've got your built-in appliance here. And speaking of the appliance, so they're Bosch appliances, and check this out, this other upgrade that sellers have done. They all have these drawers to make life so much easier. I don't know about you guys, but organization is a huge thing for me. It's also kind of a huge problem. I always feel like even if everything has a space, it doesn't necessarily have an efficient space. And if I have to like move something out of the way to get to something else, I don't really like, I just want it to be perfect, kind of. Maybe I suffer from a little bit of OCD, but with these pull-out drawers, you absolutely have that. You can just pull out the whole drawer and just grab whatever the item is that you want. You don't have to move anything around to get back behind it. So absolutely love that. We'll continue. 6-burner gas stove, absolutely fantastic. And then your coffee or wine nook, depending on, you know, your flavor. And I do like how this is a very open concept, but with separation. So you can be in either this kitchen or the living room or in the dining room, and you're still a part of all of the action. But they each have their own designated spaces. This is very clearly the dining room, and this is very clearly the living room, and this is very clearly the kitchen space. So while you can see everything and be a part of everything, you don't have to feel like, oh, it's just too open. There isn't a designated space. I don't know what to decorate how, you know? And you do have this great setup here where you can still fit in some stools if you wanted to, so you can still entertain and be super close to the action right here in the kitchen. So let's go over here. Here we have the master bedroom. Very spacious. And check out this view. Absolutely beautiful. We're going to go out there in just a minute. And while I'm zoomed in on these windows, all of the windows in the house are hurricane rated. So this house was built like a fortress. They've got cables running from the foundation to the roof as an extra hurricane resistant feature, which is fantastic. Again, we've got this beautiful tile. Separate his and hers vanities, which I absolutely love. I say that as a very single person. Oh, I love these dual vanities. And check out the shower. You've got a huge shower here and then a huge soaking tub right here. You've got so much space and comfort in this house. It's absolutely lovely. And your water closet, because that's a must. Apparently that's like a Florida thing. Not a lot of other states actually incorporate water closets in the restrooms. That's like mandatory for me. If it doesn't have a water closet in the master bath, I'm not buying it. I'm just not doing it. I don't know. That might just be an AJ-ism where it's like this is a mandatory thing. This needs to happen, but yeah, I gotta have that. All right, we're gonna go check out the remaining bedroom and office space. Speaking of space, we have 2,679 square feet in this house. It's massive. So you see, we have this archway here, which leads into basically this separate wing. So we have a dedicated office space here, which is not included as a bedroom. This is a true office. I wanted to point this out actually with a barn door. Absolutely beautiful. This is going to be your air handler closet, and then your laundry room over here with a sink. And it doesn't feel super claustrophobic in here because we've got the window here as well. And then you have the last bedroom here. They're using this as a second office clearly, but you still got the built-ins over here. Great size closets in all the bedrooms. I just love showing off this tile. And you notice that all of the showers have the dual shower heads. You've got the wand and the, you know, stable one. I wanted to talk to you guys about hurricanes because a lot of folks come to the channel and they give me a call, and one of the first questions they have is, AJ, what about hurricanes and flood insurance? What do you do when a hurricane comes? How do you prepare for a hurricane? I'm afraid of hurricanes. You're so close to the water out there. Aren't you nervous? And I'll tell you guys, I was in the Army for 12 years, so I traveled quite a bit, but I'm a Florida girl. I spent the majority of my life being raised in Florida, and then after the military, I came back to Florida. So very familiar with hurricanes. I've been through quite a few of them, even while living directly on the water. And the thing is, I would live right on the water again. I would much rather deal with a hurricane that I have a full week's notice on than a hurricane or a tornado where you have like no notice. Now, I should caveat that with sometimes we get tornadoes. They're like little ones and they do a bit of damage. Not frequently, but it's something that we do get here sometimes. And I panic over those way more than a hurricane. That being said, there are always ways to hurricane proof your home. So this home, I already went over how it's been hurricane proofed, but if you want to do additional steps, you can always put mesh coverings or get the accordion style metal coverings that you can just slide over, lock them up. Anything that's going to be higher than a Cat 2, even a Cat 2. If it's a Cat 2 hurricane or higher, I'm leaving the area. And it's not for the reason that you might think. A lot of people think, oh my gosh, you want to leave the area. What about what's going to happen to your house? Nothing's going to happen to your house. It might get some water damage. Maybe a tree's going to fall in on it, something like that. The reality is you would probably be fine inside your home. They're built to last. However, what they don't talk about is how all the food is gone from the grocery stores and they're not open. All the toilet paper is gone. All the alcohol is gone. I don't drink, but you know, there's a thing called a hurricane party and it is real. The electricity could go out, the water lines could break, and then you have a boil notice on the water. So there are so many just inconveniences that come along with a hurricane that I don't want to be a part of. If a Cat 2 or higher is coming, I'm boarding up the house and I'm going to go on a little vacation. I will come back once all the roads are cleared and the debris is out of the way and the water is safe to drink again. I don't want to deal with all the other stuff, especially because the hurricanes tend to come when it's still pretty warm out. So do you know what it's like to be in a house that is full of humidity, like Florida weather, and you have no AC and maybe not even power? Because I do, and it's not fun. So with a hurricane, you have plenty of notice. And that's one of the great benefits to our areas. We're so far up in the panhandle that it's very easy to evacuate and just get out of the way. Whereas if we were in, South Florida, if we're in Miami, something like that, you got to start driving way earlier because it's going to take you 9 hours just to leave the state. Okay. For us, it's going to take you an hour, 2 maybe. And you can be out of the way very quickly. You can make that decision on whether or not you're going to stay or leave much later than you could in other areas. So we have a lot of benefits to being in this area, not to mention, elevations and things of that nature. Now, flood insurance, not always a thing. Sometimes it's required, sometimes it isn't. If you have any questions about whether a property requires flood insurance, just give me a call. I'll let you know. The other question that we get is, do we have difficulty finding insurance for the properties here? No, we don't. On my team, we do so much business, especially with you folks from YouTube. We absolutely love you guys. Keep calling us. Seriously, you're the greatest. we work with a ton of vendors. We know who the best of the best is. We know how to make sure that you are covered. We have zero issues getting lending or getting insurance for our people. So if you're struggling, you're like, oh, I don't know, and I don't want to start this process and then find out I can't get insurance while I'm like knee deep into the transaction, that's not something that happens with us. So just keep that in mind. We've got your back, and it's really lovely living here. Okay, let's go check out the pool. I feel like that needs to be done. We have these glass doors that come all the way across. Let me step back a little bit so you can get a better view. So you have this very open feel. Now, I want to point this out because the glass here in the front door is tinted so that people on the outside can't actually see it, but you can see out just fine, which means that all of this just gets so much natural light coming through into the living room from both sides. And you've got these double doors right here that lead out, and these actually slide. So you see you've got a rail here, so you can slide them both out this way and just have a super open space. As soon as we come out here, we can hear those fountains. It is such a beautiful sound to hear, along with, birds in the mornings. Now, this is also extra, these tiles. They've got like little shells in them. You're, welcome to Florida. This is not standard practice among Huff homes. This is absolutely an upgrade that the sellers did. And everything is screened in, floor to ceiling. So you don't have that line that goes across here and messes with the view. It's just, you almost don't even feel like it's there. I get scared. I don't want to, try to walk straight through. You do have an access to the pool from the dining space as well. And this tile continues all the way out. So you just feel like you're just continuing this living space all the way out. This is a 6-foot pool instead of a 5-foot pool, and it is gunite and salt water, and it's got this pebble bottom. Let me show it to you. It's actually very smooth, but it's very durable. You can just see like a little pebble. So everything is very, Florida chic, if you will. So this is the area back here that I was showing you is considered wetlands and a preserve. It's owned by St. Joe Company, so it's never going to be built on. So this is your forever backdrop in this home. And this is a view from the back of the house. It's a very handsome home. And you've got, just enough space on either side. You've got some grass, so if you have dogs, some small dogs, or even the sellers have a good sized dog that is perfectly happy here. This yard actually extends much further. They capped off the yard right here, obviously, but it actually extends much further, and I'm going to show that to you out in the front. This is the view of the front of the house. Absolutely beautiful. And just check out this neighborhood. And right across the way, again, we've got this wetlands and this pond over here. So this is going to stay your view across the street. And check this out, you guys. I don't know if you can see him, but we've got a deer right here. He's just been chilling, eating the whole time. Oh, you got a couple of them, actually. Just a couple deer hanging out. Very cool. Very chill back here. It's very quiet. We've got this beautiful walking path here. It's super wide if you want to go for a walk or a run, walk your dog. Oh, and over here, and look how much, I know I'm all over the place. You've got all this yard space here, and then you've also got this yard space over here. The property line for this property actually continues out all the way until you get to this green, I think it's electrical. So it actually continues all the way. So if you wanted to, you could speak with the HOA about bringing this gate or this fence up forward a bit more and having more of your yard actually fenced in and having access to that part of the yard if you wanted. Let's go check out the garage because there are even more upgrades here in the garage. Got beautiful light fixtures, gutters. So, of course, we've got the epoxy flooring and a sink for, your mud sink. And you've also got, where are they? I'm looking for them. I know there are 2 electrical vehicle charging stations out here, but okay, so I'm guessing this might be where. You guys are just gonna help me look for them. It's gotta be, oh, here we go. It's literally the outlet. So I've got one here, and I imagine the other one is probably on the other side over here. If I had to guess. Well, it's here somewhere. We've done enough searching. My hair is already getting crazy just from that little bit of searching. But all of that to say, this property is fantastic. It is chock full of upgrades. You've got 4 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms, 2,679 square feet, built in 24, with a hot tub and pool, and 0.27 acres, and the natural view in the front and the back, all listed for $1.589 million in a beautiful neighborhood where you can't short-term rent, so you don't have to worry about who your neighbors are. Also, something else that I didn't think of as I'm looking at it, I'm looking at my car. I'm gonna show you this. So right back over here in this area where I showed you, you could actually turn that into a 3rd car garage if you wanted to. You could extend out this driveway and put a 3-car garage over there, or put a spot for your golf cart. How cool would that be? All right, I'm gonna go back into the AC and I'm gonna give you guys a market update. All right, so I wanted to give you guys a bit of a market update as well. I didn't want to forget anything, so I have some notes here, all right? So currently, because we are on the east side of 30A, there is a difference between east side. I never know which way this thing is going to mirror. So for me, we're just going to say my east side, typically on my right, the way I'm looking. So east side of 30A is separate from your west side of 30A. We are technically on the east side of 30A. If we're checking in the MLS, that's where this property is going to fall. Everything in Water Sound Origins is going to fall within that area of 30A East. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So we currently have 633 active houses on the market that are an average of 4.5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, and 3,224 square feet, with an original list price of $3.4 million, and they've been on the market for an average of 164 days. Now, if we look at what's actually sold in the recent history, so in the past 90 days of shooting this video, there were 500, I'm sorry, I put last 90 days, but this was definitely for the past year. Now, so what has actually sold in the past 90 days? There were 140 properties. They were on average 4.5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, with 3,064 square feet, with an original list price of $2.97 million, but sold for about $2.78 million after being on the market for 158 days. So they sold for about 96% of the list price after 158 days. So what does that really tell us? Those were on the market for a little bit less than what we have seen on the market right now on average, and at a lower price point. So basically, prices are a bit higher right now than the properties that actually sold in the recent real estate history, if you will, of 38 East. So keep that in mind if you're a buyer, that right now the prices are a little bit higher and things are sitting on the market a little bit longer. So just because you're seeing a property sit on the market doesn't necessarily mean that there is something wrong with it. It's the market that we're in, and the prices are what they are, and that's just you know, kind of where we're at. So things are sitting at a little bit higher price. They're sitting on the market a little bit longer, and on average are selling for about 96% of the list price when they are a little bit lower. So we'll see what happens with the economy and what that's going to mean for home prices, interest rates, and so on. I do want to give a quick shout out to my friend Sharisa Kabahu. This is her listing. She's with 1% List, and she is fantastic. Thank you, Sharisa, for allowing me to just show and spotlight this beautiful property. For those of you that aren't familiar with the area, we are just a little ways from Panama City Beach. A lot of folks find us because they're actually considering moving to Panama City Beach, and then they find out about 30A, and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to be on 30A. I don't blame you. I do too. So some things that we're close to here, we're about 30 minutes from the ECP, which is the Panama City Beach Airport, and we're about 7 minutes to Camp Helen State Park, 7 minutes to the closest public beach access that has decent parking. That's like nothing. 7 minutes to the beach. That's fantastic. You can beat all of the traffic. And you're also about 8 minutes to Rosemary Beach. So if you've got, you know, high standards and you like to enjoy some of the finer things in life, you are very, very close to all of that while not having to be directly in the tourist area. You're very well shielded from it. We're also in a master planned community. So Watersound Origins is a master plan development. You've got unlimited golf here. There's a 3-par course that comes with your associate or your HOA membership. So that's just $585 per quarter. That's like nothing. And you have access to the fitness center and the pickleball and tennis and community center. There's just so much that you get for such a low cost while being so close to everything else and having a beautiful home that is of the most solid construction. It's absolutely fantastic. If you guys have any questions whatsoever about this property or any other properties here in the area, I hope that you reach out. All of my contact information is on the screen. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and ding the bell so that you get notified every time I do another video. Click up here for the next one. Bye, y'all.